Warweek was one of, if not the darkest weeks in TFT history. And it was for two reasons. One was Warwick in set 4, and one was the item Static Shiv. And we're going to talk about both of them. So, to get really into Warwick, the first thing to do is talk about Warwick himself. So, Warwick was a melee unit. He was a 4 cost, and he was Divine Hunter. So, you can see he had really good base stats, a lot of base HP, a lot of base attack damage, a lot of base attack speed, really good armor and MR, and a pretty low cost spell, which you only had to cast once per fight. Once you cast that, you were good. And so, what his spell did was it said, and this is at the start of the set because it changed eventually. If you read this one right here, it is not the right one. So you have to read this one down here. It says gain a bunch of attack speed, gain a bunch of lifesteal, both of which are really, really good stats for him, and move faster for the rest of combat. And then if he scores a takedown, which is a kill or an assist, he will then stun all adjacent enemies for 1.5 seconds, which is a pretty long stun, right? 1.5 seconds is about as the same as I think a Nautilus stun, if I'm not mistaken, in the current set. Like a Nautilus 1 stun, I think it should go up with star level. But basically, he would just get kills, he'd CC everything around him, and he'd do his thing, right? Sounds pretty good. And so we have to look at his traits as well real quick to see what made him so good. So his traits are Divine and Hunter. Divine was basically a CC shed, like partway through the fight with a bunch of bonus damage reduction and a bunch of bonus damage amp for a little bit. So it kept him alive, kept him hitting things. And then Hunter, and this interacts with that spell that we read where, you know, if he gets any takedown, again, being a kill or an assist, then he gets to CC everything around him. Hunter says every, at a 2 Hunter rather, it's 3.5 seconds, it would go down with star level. But basically every three-ish seconds, you would hit the lowest health enemy, and whether you killed it or not didn't matter, because as long as you hit it and then it died, you got the stun, the fear, the AoE fear that he has. And so, I think on his own, he sounds really good. He's also a brawler, by the way, so he just gets a bunch of bonus HP, so he stays alive longer, which is just kind of icing on the cake. But at first glance, he seems pretty good. His stats are very good. His synergies are very good. They help him a lot. His spell sounds pretty good. He just seems like a very solid unit, right? Nothing like crazy broken, maybe like a little overpowered potentially, but not super game breaking. And so the game breaking part comes in with Shiv. And so what happened with the item Static Shiv going into set 4 is that they kind of wanted to give Shiv more of its own identity. No one was really building it after some of the Moonlight shenanigans in base set 4, or there was like Moonlight stuff going on somewhere. Like Aphelios. Basically, you get like 4-star unit, and then Shiv would hit like the whole board and it'd be crazy. So basically, they wanted to give Shiv its identity, its own identity. And so what they said was that they said, you can see here on patch 10.21, which is the start of Warweek, main damage reduced to 75 from 85. So Shiv did a little less damage in general, but if a unit was crowd controlled, Shiv did 175 damage. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this was true damage as well at the time. So basically, if the Shiv proc, the little lightning bolt, hit anything that was CC'd, it would do a disgusting amount of damage. And you know what two things make that sound even better? One, a unit that attacks a lot. We can look here again at Warwick. A lot of bonus attack speed. And two, a unit with a lot of built-in CC that wants to be getting a lot of takedowns. Built-in CC on takedown. And so basically what would happen is that with these two things put together, Warwick would just, he would get one kill and basically just chain CC your entire front line and like kill backline at the same time with Shiv procs and Hunter, and he would just tear through boards. It was absolutely disgusting. And so the best build for Warwick, I think, might have been triple Shiv. People definitely thought about triple Shiv a lot. People would play like QSS double Shiv. You could go like QSS Titan Shiv. They're like, basically, as long as you had a Shiv on a Warwick, you were doing really well. And it was so strong that you would, I kid you not, you would see probably anywhere between like 4 to 6, 7, maybe even 8 potentially Warwick players every single lobby. And it was like you couldn't play a lot else. I know there's if anyone knows about Warweek lore, there is this famous idea of Sox climbing super hard during Warweek playing no Warwick. I mean, he was Sox. He's very, very good at the game, and he found some edge. But generally speaking, Warwick was destroying everything. It was the most dominant comp in the game by far for these reasons, right? That it would just CC the whole board, it would hit the whole board for a ton of extra damage, it would just do nasty things. And so I'm going to show you a couple clips of that. We have one from a Soju game in set 4, so this isn't even BIS work, right? This is a Radiant Titans, a QSS, and a Shiv. And so we'll see in a second. You see all the pretty good units in Divine. Obviously, you got Chosen Warwick, you would just win because that was something. Here, let's see real quick. So watch this Warwick go. It is it is something special. All right, so he gets his cast off pretty quickly. He gets his first kill. Oh, and then all of a sudden, nothing can move. The whole board's dying. I mean, there's a thing with like QSS2 doing damage, but like not enough ever, right? You can see oh yeah, so it definitely was true damage. So you can see Warwick's damage here, right? The Shiv procs count for more than half of his damage, and that it's partially, I guess, Divine as well. But for the most part, Shiv killed the entire board because it was just 175 true damage every third auto. You have a ton of attack speed, you're casting really quickly, and you just kind of go crazy. I have another clip as well. So I'm being double Shiv with Elderwood Spat, which I think is maybe even more indicative. Shows even better how crazy he is. You know, see he dashes really fast to his next target, so you couldn't even like distance gap him. He would just basically immediately end up to his next target and just CC everything over and over and over again. So that's what it looked like. And beyond just like the implications for, you know, everyone's playing Warwick and this unit's so broken, I can't beat it. It also meant that everyone was rolling at like saving all their money and rolling at like really crazy times to find like a single copy of Warwick. So people were like rolling to 0 on 7. People would like find a Warwick on 6, and then the whole lobby would flame them. It was just absolute batshit insanity. And so how it got fixed is that 1 week later, sorry, this is actually October. I don't know if I said. I think I was thinking 11th. It was October 14th is this patch. A little less than a week later, October 20th, it got hot fixed. And so what they did, we can see here, is that they just said, okay, we're going to make the bonus damage no longer apply to crowd controlled units on the Shiv. And so Shiv, instead of doing, you know, 175 bonus magic or true damage, it did 85 true damage. And Warwick didn't get changed in that patch, in that hotfix, if I'm not mistaken. I can be sure real quick. Yep, didn't get changed in that hotfix, but he did get changed a little bit later because it turns out Warwick was still super, super good even without the Shiv thing, and like people would just I wouldn't say it was a second Warweek, but like Warwick was still a very dominant board for a long time until 10.23 here. You can see where they said, okay, let's reduce the stun duration. It was still really good, and so they just said, all right, we're gonna give him a new spell because it just wasn't really working out. Yeah, so if you wanted to know what Warweek was, or you wanted to relive Warweek a little bit, there it is. Basically, all Warweek was a really insane interaction between the item Static Shiv in, you know, the 4-cost Warwick at the time. It took the game by storm. It was played again like anywhere from like 4. I wouldn't even say 4 is like a low number. At least 6 people a lobby honestly would be playing Warwick at like pretty much all elos, and so it was just rampant. It was not the best week to be playing TFT. So if you enjoyed that little piece of TFT lore and you want to support the channel, make sure to to subscribe, and like the video if you liked it. Leave a comment if you want, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Peace.